Hey everybody, I'm going to walk through the first 5 questions of the 2024 Invitational A and Invitational B Number Sense tests, just so you can kind of see my thought process on how to solve them. As I'm doing them, I'm going to write down some scratch work, that what my brain is thinking, but remember on the Number Sense test, you're not allowed to do any scratch work. So for number 1, 4,261 minus 1,624, subtracting reverses appears commonly on the test. The way that I like to think about it is I like to chunk the first 2 numbers, so 61 minus 24. I like to do that subtraction in my head because that's fairly easy. 61 minus 24, if I take away the 20, that's 41 minus 4, and then I know that's 37. So I can do that in my head. I didn't have to borrow from the 100s. And then I think 42 minus 16, well, 42 minus 10 is 32, and then take away the 6, that's 26. So 26, 37. Number 2 is adding fractions, and when you add fractions, you need a common denominator. So my common denominator is going to be when you multiply those 2 bottom numbers. So I know my bottom number is going to be 40. Don't write it down yet because you might be able to simplify. I'm just going to double check it. In order to add them, you would multiply the left one by 5 over 5 and the right one by 8 over 8. So my brain's thinking 5 times 5, my brain's thinking 25 plus 3 times 8, 24. So my brain's thinking 25 plus 24 over 40. That's 49 over 40. Does that simplify? No. So 49 over 40. Okay. Number 3 is just basic division. And I'll tell you where kids mess up on this one. You know 16 divided by 4 is going to be 4. Make sure you put the decimal place there. So this is easy because there's only one decimal place. So I know it's going to be 0.4 something. My answer should be a decimal. Where people mess up is they know that 4 doesn't go into 2, but they know if they added a 0, if they thought of it as 1.620, they know that's 4, and they know that's 5. But what they forget to do is they forget to leave the 0 as the placeholder. So 0.405 should have been the answer, not 0.45. Number 4 is another division problem, but this time they want a mixed number, which I think is actually easier because you don't have to go into bringing down another digit like 0 here on the previous problem. So again, I chunk them in chunks of 2. 16 divided by 9, I know that goes in there one time. When I subtract 9, I get 7, so 72 divided by 9 is 8. And then 4 comes out next, and I can't divide 4 by anything. So it's going to be 4, the remainder over the divisor. 4 over 9 is 4/9. Where people are going to mess up on this one is they're going to forget to put their 0 there because remember, it could go into 4 0 times. So it's 180 and 4/9. Number 5. Now, I recognize this because I've been doing this for a while, but this 0.0625 is actually a benchmark fraction. So you have a couple of benchmark fractions. Like you have 1/2 is 0.5, 1/3 is 0.33, 1/4 is 0.25. Like you know some of these already. The reason why we have their benchmark fractions is because we can double them. So 2 halves is 1, 2/3 is 0.66666, and 2/4 is 0.5. Like you can do multiples of them, right? So here, I know this benchmark fraction, it's a more advanced one, but I see this and I know that 0.0625 is 1/16. Okay, and then I have this 1 over here, so when I want to add a 1 to it as a fraction, it's any number divided by itself. So since I already know 16 is the bottom number, I know it's going to be 16 over 16. So this is what my brain's thinking. 16 over 16 plus 1 over 16. Add the numerators, that's 17 over 16. And it wanted it to be an improper fraction. So that just means it wants the top heavy number. Okay, invitational B. Number 1, just adding and subtracting. There's a couple ways to do this. I look at the first, I just do it left to right. So 2010 minus 309, I know that's going to be a difference of, well, I think of it as 309 minus 210. I reverse it and then make it a negative number. So I know that's going to be, what is that? That's 109 minus 10, so that's 99. So negative 99. So I'm saying 2024 minus 99. So almost minus 100. If I take away 100, that's going to be 1924. So if I take away 100, it's 1924, and then I add 1, so it's going to be 1925. So my brain's just thinking that real fast. Okay, number 2, 2024 divided by 4. Again, I do it in chunks when I divide. 20 divided by 4 is 5, and then 24 divided by 4 is 6. I know that, but remember you go in chunks, so you need to have that placeholder. So it's going to be 506, not 56. Okay, number 3 looks kind of scary. You're like, that's a tough question for number 3, but really what it's saying is 5.6 times 5 plus 6 is 11. So this is a multiply by 11 trick. When you multiply by 11, you write the ones place, the units place. Then you add 5 plus 6 is 11, carry the 1. And then 5 plus that carried 1 is 6. So 616. Where people might make the mistake here is they might forget the decimal. So the decimal should be one place over, so it should be 61.6. Okay, number 4. It doesn't say if it wants it as a decimal or a fraction, so either way is totally fine. I prefer to make this all a decimal on number 4. So I know I have another benchmark fraction, right? That 1/10, I know that's 0.1. So I have 3.09 plus 2.10. That's what my brain's thinking. And then I add in chunks. When I add, I start from the right. When I subtract, I start from the left. So I'm adding, so 0.09 plus 0.10, that's 0.19. And then I didn't have to carry, so good. So 2 plus 3 is 5, so 5.19. Okay, number 5. I like number 5. Number 5, you can do this a couple of different ways. The way I prefer to do it is, since one of the numbers is even and the other one ends in 5, I do the double and half trick. So if I half the first number, it becomes 16. And if I double the first number, it becomes 70. So my brain's thinking 32 times 35 is the same thing as 16 times 70. And that I can do in my head. It ends in a 0, so I'm going to place the 0. And then I'm just going to multiply by 7. So 7 times 6 is 42. Carry the 4. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 4 is 11. And that's it.